Alright, welcome back. And in this video, we are going to look at one interesting application topic under trigonometry, and that is angle of elevation and depression. But please, before that, I would like us to go back and watch a video, alright? And anytime I'm teaching this topic, this is the video I allow my students to watch. And after watching, I don't give them any notes again because it is self-explanatory, and it will also allow you to relate the topic in real life. So after that, then we come back with some more explanation. Then we start solving more questions. Okay? See you for that video.
We have a flagpole here without a flag. It is mounted vertically with its base fixed to the ground. Say a person is standing some distance away from this pole and looking straight at it. The line drawn from the eye of the person to the distant point where the person is looking is called line of sight. This is the line of sight. Since this line is parallel to the surface, we call it the horizontal line of sight, or simply a horizontal line. Now, if the person is looking at the top of the pole, what would be the line of sight in this case? The line drawn from the eye to the top of the pole will be the line of sight. We see that this line of sight makes some angle with this horizontal line. This angle is called the angle of elevation. The angle of elevation of the top of the flagpole is simply the angle that this line of sight makes with the horizontal line. Let me repeat this quickly as it's an important concept. When a person is looking up, the angle formed by this line of sight with the horizontal line is called the angle of elevation. Note here that the line of sight is above the horizontal line. What if the person is looking at the base of the pole? What is the line of sight in this case? The line drawn from the eye to the base of the pole is the line of sight when the person is looking at the base. In this case, the angle formed between the line of sight and horizontal is called the angle of depression. Yes, when a person is looking down, angle formed by the line of sight with the horizontal is angle of depression. Here the line of sight is below the horizontal. So we can say that when the line of sight is above the horizontal, angle of elevation is formed, and when the line of sight is below the horizontal, angle of depression is formed. Here is a simple problem for you. This is to make sure that you've understood this concept well. Suppose a girl is standing in a balcony of a bungalow and looking straight at a neighboring building which is taller than her bungalow. When she looks at the top of the building, the line of sight is this one, and when she is looking at the bottom of the building, the line of sight is this one. And this is the horizontal line. Let us denote the angles that we see using some letters. Now here is the question for you to answer. Which among these is the angle of elevation and which is the angle of depression? Pause the video and try to find the answer. Angle of elevation is P and is formed when she is looking up, and the angle of depression is Q, which is formed when she is looking down. In the next video, we will solve a few examples based on this concept.
Welcome back. Alright, welcome back. So in the video, we have all these descriptions there. We say that this is the line of sight. We have the horizontal line. We also know that this is the angle of elevation. In fact, you even understand it more better than what I'm also explaining. And this is the angle of depression. And this is the most important thing, and that is what? Horizontal line. And these are the line of sight. So we are saying that line of sight, the difference between the line of sight and the angle formed is that when the line of sight is formed above the horizontal line, when it's formed above the horizontal line, then the angle of elevation is formed. And when it is below the horizontal line, then the angle of depression is 4. Woo! Nice. So now, let's go straight to the point and solve questions. Let's go and solve questions. Let's go and solve questions. So, in our first question, it says that the length of a shadow of a building, the length of a shadow of a building, and you have all seen a building before, whether your school building or your house or even where you are sitting right now. You can relate to anything there. Of a building, 34.09 centimeters. Sorry, meters. Tall is 37.62 centimeters. Find the angle of elevation find the angle of elevation of the sun. Alright, so this example is restricted to angle of what? Elevation. So we have that the length of a shadow of a building is 34.09 meters tall. Is 37.62 meters. So here, let's assume this is our building. Alright, let's relate it, and it will be nice for us to discuss on. And we have all seen a sun before. Let's assume that this is the sun. Alright, very good. And on every building there is a level ground. Okay, there is a level ground. So we are saying that the length of a shadow of a building, which is 34.09. So that means that this 34.09 is going to be the length of a shadow of the building. That's going to be the what? The length of the building. So the length of the building is 34.09. Very good. Alright? Meters tall is 37.62 meters. It's 37.62 meters. So that is also going to represent the level ground. That is 37.62 degrees. Okay. Find the angle of elevation of the sun. So now let's assume that. So this will be the horizontal line, alright? This will be the horizontal line. It's like your eye is here. And you are looking at the sun. So here becomes the line of sight. So that becomes the line of sight. So this will be your line of sight. And that's going to be the what? The hypotenuse. So the angle is going to form here. And the angle, let's represent that by theta. We don't know the angle. So we have to find the angle of elevation of the sun. So to find the angle of elevation of the sun, this is just straightforward. You know the hypotenuse. You don't know the hypotenuse, but you know the opposite and what the other side. So you go down by what? Tan theta, which is what? Y over x. So tan theta will be equal to y is what? That is 34.09 over the x, which is 37.62. So theta is going to be tan inverse of 34.09 over 37.62. So take your calculator and punch it and give me the final answer. Alright, I have my answer here already. So theta is going to be 42. So theta is going to be 42. Punch I want to confirm it. 42.18 degrees. 42.18 degrees. So that is going to be the angle of elevation. So you conclude. Therefore, the angle of elevation is bam. Then you put it there. Let's look at our second question. Alright, let's look at our second example. Let's look at our second example. Wow, very nice. Nimatu needs. You can use your name there, okay? Whether you say needs or whatever, put your name there. Nimatu needs to know the height of a tree. That is why I said you need to put your name there so that you will not write on there. I'm not Nimato, so I don't want to find the height of the tree. Put your name there. So if I want to put my name there, I will say Fred needs to know the height of a tree. So I need to know the height of the tree. So I have to picture it, alright? Let's assume this is the tree. This is the tree there. That is this building. Alright, so Nimatu needs to know the height of a tree from a given point on the ground. From a given point on the ground. She finds the angle of elevation from the top of the tree is 36.7. Alright, so let's assume this is the tree. Let's assume this is the tree. And Nimatu is standing. Nimatu is standing here. Nimatu is standing here. So the eye level of Nimatu is here. This will be the horizontal line, okay? This will be the horizontal line. So, Nimatu formed the angle of elevation from the top of the tree. Don't forget that Nimatu is standing at a given point on the ground, and this is the point. Don't forget that. Alright. And the angle of elevation that Nimatu is looking is 36.7. So Nimatu first form an angle of elevation. I'm going to use here to be the eye. The point. And this is the top of the building. So Nimatu form an angle of elevation of 36.7 degrees here. She moves back. So at first, Nimatu was standing here. So Nimatu now moves back. Watch. You have to relate the thing so that you understand it. So at first, Nimatu is standing here. This is the eye level. Then we look at an angle of elevation to this side. Alright? So now, Nimatu now moves back. So Nimatu moves backwards. So that means that from here to here is 50 feet. Then what happened? He moved back 50 feet from the second point. From the second point, the angle of elevation of the top of the tree is, that means that when Nimatu moves back 50 feet. He now look again at the top of the building again, and he gained an angle of elevation of 22.2 degrees. Very good. Please, it is always important for you to note that the more you get closer to a certain angle, or the more you get closer to a building, the larger the angle. So if I'm here, the angle I'll form for looking at the top of this building here will be bigger than coming backwards and looking at the angle. That is why pneumatic angle closer to the building is bigger than coming backwards more and looking at the building again. If you know this, writing 22.2 here will make you think that no, here can never be 22.2 because the angle that is closer to the building is bigger than the angle that is far. Alright? So make sure you please take note of that. It's very, very important. The more you get closer, the more the angles open. And the more you move backwards, the more the angle what? Press down. Alright, so that is what we have. Find the height of the tree. So we have to find the height of this tree. Let's represent that by h. Also, bear in mind that let's name it. Now we can clean up pneumatic. A, B, C, and D. Now note that from here to here we don't know, so we can represent that name by x. The height of the tree we don't know, so let's represent that by h. Then we need to go for this side. Okay. Now there is a bigger right angle triangle and there is a smaller right angle triangle. But before you go for this bigger triangle, you should be able to know something here. So let's consider this. You know that tan, saying this is a reference angle, tan 36.7 degrees is equal to h over x. Hope you can see that. Don't forget also that they are having the same height. So here the height is going to be this. Let's name this equation 1. And when we consider the bigger triangle, the bigger right angle triangle, the adjacent or the ground is 50 plus x. And for that matter, that one we can apply tan. And that is tan. And the reference angle now is 22.2, which is equal to opposite over the adjacent. That is h over 50 plus x. So here we are going to get the height here to be 50 plus x tan 22.2, which is equal to h, equation 2. And now we can see that since they are sharing of the same height, we can now say in equation 1, wherever you see h, put h here then, or put h. So we just shortly simple. The height here is same as the height here, so we can equate equation 1 and 2. So by equating equation 1 and 2, we are going to have, when we equate equation 1 and 2, can now clean the question. because we know that we are finding the height. So when you clean equation 1, when you equate equation 1 and 2, you get S tan 36.7 equal to, so let's name this H1, H2. So H1 is equal to what? H2. So yes, 50 plus S is also going to be equal to tan what? Tan 22/2. So now you see that we have get rid of all the H, so we can now solve for our S. Alright, so let's make S the subject. Here we have this here, let's repeat tan 36.67. Now I don't want to approximate this because sometimes the decimal place you can affect your final answer. So just maintain it. Here we get 50 tan 22.2 plus S tan 22.2. Alright. So let the terms containing S come on one side. So we get S tan 36.7 minus S tan 22.2 is equal to 50 tan 22.2. So here we can factor S out and we get tan 36.7 minus tan 22.2 is equal to 50 tan 22.2. So S is equal to 50 tan 22.2. All this over. Hope you can see that. All this over the whole of this. Which is tan 36.7 minus tan. Yes, we can point that on calculator, but I don't want us to point it for now. So here, when you get to this side, punching it will be simple for you. So S is going to be equal to, just punch the whole of this on calculator and leave it in 4 decimal place and tell me what the answer for S is going to be. Alright. So we take our calculator. Make sure you are in degree mode. Degree. D 50 times tan 22.2. Then tan 36.7 minus tan 22.2. Oh wow, and that is going to give us, and that is going to give us 60.49 in 4 decimal place, 4968 in 4 decimal place. So we have S to be this. So now we can replace, to get H, we can replace it whether here or here. So let's replace that here. In equation 1, we know that H is going to be, S is 60.4968. Okay, times tan 36.7, and it's going to give us 60 times 60.4968 times tan 36.7, and finally we are going to get 45 degrees. Sorry, it's not degrees because it's of height. So we get h to be equal to 45, and in the question we were not told, it was given in feet, so 45 feet. Alright, this should be approximate, and you can see that we have 45.09, so we leave it as 45 feet. Alright, so that is how we find the height for that. There are a lot of questions. I'll be back with question 3. Alright, so let's look at our third example. An aeroplane, and we have all seen aeroplane before. An aeroplane is flying 10,500 feet above the level ground. Very good. 10,500 feet above the level ground. So that is telling you that, let's finish. The angle of depression from the plane, the base of a tree is 13 degrees, 50 minutes. How far horizontally must the plane fly to be directly over the tree? How far horizontally must the plane fly to be directly over the tree? So let's assume that we have our airplane here. Alright, so the airplane, let's assume that this is our airplane. Let's assume that is our airplane. Okay, let's assume that is our airplane. So it's moving like that, moving in that direction. Alright, good. And when an airplane is moving, you know that there's going to be a height above the ground. There's going to be a height above the ground. There's going to be a height. Alright, so when an airplane is moving, it's going to form, like, let's say if it starts with this height and it reaches this height, the length above is going to be the length what? Below. And it's going to be like a rectangle, where the opposite sides are what? Equal. Alright, good. So that is that, and that is that, and that is that. And we are saying that an airplane is flying 10,500 feet above the level ground. So where the airplane is flying is 10,000 feet above the level ground. So that means that, and it's going to form 90 degrees. That means that the height from here to here is going to be 10,500 feet. 10,500 feet. And the opposite of it is also the same thing. Alright, the opposite of it is going to be the same thing. Let's continue. The angle of depression from the plane, the base of the tree, the angle, so it's like there is a tree, alright? It's like there is a tree. So let's assume that the tree is somewhere here. Let's assume that the tree is somewhere here, alright? Let's assume the tree is somewhere here. So the angle of depression from the plane and this is the plane. And we know that depression is when this is the horizontal line. This is the horizontal line, alright? So depression is when you look below the horizontal line. Above will be elevation, so below will be the depression. So when you look below, this is the horizontal line. So when you look below, and the point is saying that the angle of depression from the plane, the base of the tree is, so that is that. Alright, that is what we have for them. So that means that that angle of depression is going to be 13 degrees, 50 minutes. 50 minutes. Alright, so that is that for that. How far horizontally must the plane fly to be directly over the tree? How far horizontally? So the moment you hear horizontal, know that you're looking for what? This. And that is what the horizontal line. And this is opposite to this. So if here is x, here too is x. And don't forget that since this is going to parallel to this, that is going to be parallel. That means that we can apply our alternate angles here. So this angle is going to be the same as this angle. It's going to be the same as this angle. With the idea of what? Alternate angles. And this is going to form what? 90 degrees. So you can use this right angle what? Triangle. Alright. So you know the first thing to do is to convert the 50 degrees. Sorry. The 50 minutes and add it to what? The 30 degrees. So we know how to do this conversion already. We know how to do this conversion already. So 13 degrees plus, that is 50 multiplied by 1 over what? 60. So this is going to give us, 13 plus 50 over 60. And we get 13.8 degrees. So the angle of depression, or 13.8 degrees, or 13.8 degrees. Alright, that is that. So let's move on. Now this is what we have. So what can we do to find this angle x? We know the opposite, and then let's go for tan. So simply tan theta is going to be equal to y over the x, or the opposite over the adjacent. So tan 13.8 is going to be equal to the opposite is 10,500 feet over s that we are looking for. So the s is just going to be 10,500 feet over tan 13.8, and that is going to give us, alright, and that is going to give us 10,500, so 10,500 over tan 13.8, and that is going to give us alright, feet. So that is what we are going to get for that. And that is what we are going to get for that. So in all, that's going to be our final answer for that. Good. So therefore, conclude. Therefore, the horizontal line that the plane will fly to be directly over the tree is that. Very good. Thank you. And I may end with this example. Let me give you the rest for you to go and exercise your hands on it, and I will give you the suggested solutions so that you try your hands on it. Okay, I'll project for you. All right, dear students, welcome back. I would like you to try your hands on these questions. All right, that's your question 1, and we also have the question 2. Nice question there. We also have the question 3. It's all about elevation and depression questions. Then we have the suggested solutions here. So make sure you work towards it and get the answer. In case of any problem, you can show to me on WhatsApp. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.